hopefully, I'll take myself off mute. Okay, can you guys hear me? And hopefully you're seeing a landscape of Australia in front of you.
Not full screen.
Okay, I'll just look next door. That'll do. So what we're, sorry, there's a bit of an echo. The speaker.
I turned it off.
Okay, we'll begin. Yep. Thanks everyone for the privilege of being part of this awesome group. I mean, we are so impressed with what we've seen so far, first half of this conference, that we're just mind blown. And what we'd like to present from the XRC's perspective is, sorry, there's just a bit of an echo, is the artistry in action. So all of the data sets, and I might just take this off. Yep, okay. All of the data sets, aggregation and technology, wearables, new platforms, OpenXR, so forth, all coming together to lead to this point where I want to show you something a bit more closer to home. So this is Australian landscape. I come from an animation visual effects background. This sort of images used to take weeks to render, you know, using the world's best talent. Now I've got to give thanks to Andrew Hamilton on this. These are his assets, but this is not video footage. This is actually a game engine running live, and I'll just walk through it now. So it will have a little bit of lag, but please excuse me as we go for a wander through the Australian landscape. And as I said, all of this is digital, being rendered real time on a notebook that's actually about 4 years old, so not too bad. And we've just got leaves and all the rest of it happening. So this idea of real-time visualization is something that we're going to talk about today. And taking it beyond just that sort of aesthetic, which is very impressive in its own right, that this is actually running a 4-year-old notebook in real time. You're seeing all these trees and birds flying around and all the rest of it. We can switch to different perspectives. Let's actually talk about how this works in regards to all of the discussions of today. So I'm just going to go to a perspective you can see here and flood it. So I just need to move my little zoom box out of the way. Let's raise the level of water in real time in that landscape. Now, again, if you're thinking weather channel, and I just need to switch to a different perspective here. Hold on for a second. Okay. We're just going to move around here. As I said, cinematic type of visualizations working real time. So things like the Weather Channel in the US, when they do their presentations now, when they're talking about flood warnings, the presenter can actually be in front of a virtual screen. And when they say there's going to be a 1 meter rise in water and people go, oh, you know, so what? They can actually show a car go past someone or maybe some, you know, snakes or something in the water to actually help sell that message. Because the picture says 1,000 words. And if you've got a moving one, well, just think of how rapidly you can accelerate the ideas. When people say, oh, I can't imagine what that would look like, we can actually show them. So in this particular example, if I want to change that water level at any given time, that whole landscape will react. So if you've got a topographic map of an actual farm, you can actually show someone what's going to flood first. You can show the waterways and all the rest of it. Now, I'm going to demonstrate how this can rapidly be prototyped by Flooding Melbourne towards the end of this presentation. But that's just to get everyone excited. Eleanor is actually going to do the official introduction to the XRC.
I just test my microphone. Can everyone hear me okay? Hopefully. Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm just going to share my screen as well, because let's just go back to who we are. So thanks, Andrew. Andrew and I, we seem to have been doing a lot of presentations recently, which is fantastic. And especially showing what Andrew's just been doing now, we've been brought into lots of things because, as you know, at CSU, we have the Agripark and we're right in the middle of the farming community. We're actually based in Wagga, and so we have the whole university farm and everything that we can play with, which is fantastic. I just want to take you back over who we are, because I think that's really important in terms of what we can do and how we're working with everyone, seeing as we're actually called a collaborative. So it's not just Andrew and I, it's actually many people, and hence the word collaborative. And as you can see here, this is our website. We've actually got people in different parts of the university, from health to humanities, data scientists, right across the board. So that makes us very exciting as a team to bring to lots of projects. And that's what we've been doing for the last 2 years. We launched in 2019 and it's been escalating so fast ever since. So this here just shows some of the areas that we've been working with. So we can actually, we've been, let me pass on to this one because we've actually been doing lots of MOUs at the moment, and Andrew and I have actually been participating in STEM New South Wales because we feel it's really important, even though we're based in a university, that we reach out to schools. And there's everything from school-based right through to university, out to the community and working with industry. So we're very exciting to work with all these partners, and especially Agripark being on our doorstep, if you like. So what is it we're doing and what's our experience altogether? So we have immense experience, and as you can see here, this is a very strange picture, but it's all about immersive learning. As you can see here, how do we bring young minds into the world of, here we're talking about agriculture, but both being able to experience it physically, if you like, in a place in situ, but also be able to do it virtually, which is what we've been doing more recently. So we have experience and team members that have been building assets. As you can see here, this is really exciting graphics going from different types of data and thermal heat maps, and then applying them onto very interesting visualizations. So we're looking at visualizations that are communicating messages. And a lot of these are going to schools or museums, and working into some of the work that we do now in our partnership. So I'm going to whiz through these because some of these are things that we've done in the past and working with organizations like CSIRO, and I come from working from them and also being part of the ANU. So our network is huge. But what we're actually interested in is beyond, and it's picking up on what Tim was saying as well. We've been experiencing working with products. So not just wearing the glasses, but taking things out and using them, being able to physically engage with the project that takes you right into that data and how it's presented on things that look quite magical, that can be wiped away and different data comes forward. Taking right inside to examples of bread and insects, and actually letting students walk into a world that includes a field. And we're aware that many of our youngsters, or many people in fact, have never been in a wheat field. So here you can see we've created a game that allows you to play on the floor and wipe out areas of this wheat here and be in the field itself. And while they're doing that, they're also engaging with making shapes of the insects. So we find that all this playful use of the visualizations and the subject that we've been working with has been really important into learning. Not just the learning of the children, because obviously who they come with are their parents, their school teachers. So it's that lifelong learning of bringing them into the world of, in this case, agriculture. So here we're showing a system that was a hemispherical projection system where you could put your body over it, wipe areas out, and inside there was all the data from repositories, filming out in the wheat crops, and even building wheat fields ourselves. That includes going out, working even from taking cameras right into the field and then working with different organizations in building that content. This here is going back to with CSIRO. You guys are probably familiar with this, and taking those assets and working even with composers to create 3D virtualization objects that move relating to the heat maps in the wheat field. And I'm whizzing through mine because I know Andrew's so eager to come in, but I just wanted to show you this one working with the Oceanographic Institute in the USA, because here we're dealing with wearables. And so that's great. That's linking back to what you were saying, Tim. Again, we're here using the wearables. We're working with people face to face. We're linking that back into data. We're taking them into this whole world of the scientists as well as the people experiencing the data together. So these projects have been absolutely fantastic and funded. And here we're back on the CSU campus, working with our own people over in agriculture. We're still crossing over between the arts and the sciences. And as you know, many of us can now use apps on our phones to recreate 3D objects. But the thing is, we're saying, come and work with us at XRC, because Andrew's going to tell you exactly why. Oh, he wants me to keep going. He's still waiting. But what Andrew's probably going to talk about is that we're working on commercial contracts at the moment, so we can build up research in these areas. And this one here, you can see we're working out on VR training. So we're working with companies to look at how we can help them to do VR trainings in their company, working on the products. You ready, Andrew? I'm going to close this and I'm going to take you over to Andrew. Okay, ready? Yeah. I think he's ready. Go, Andrew.
Hey everyone, welcome back. So I'll just share screen. Okay. So I did promise that we were going to fly Melbourne. This is Melbourne, and as we go along, I'll actually speed up that camera. And again, just have to get my zoom out of the way. This is actually pulling near map data, which is fantastic. We can actually see that just like Google Earth, we can stream these 3D tiles in. Now, following on from everything that people have been speaking before, if you pull in all these multiple sensors from all these different, everything from satellite data to live traffic through to people's wearables out there on the street, you can start feeding that stuff through. Now, there's some really fantastic examples already out there, such as Virtual Adelaide. Wellington is a really good example. Singapore's got some stuff as well. And in regards to agriculture, focusing on a project like a digital farm and following through at small scale, it's simply about that scalability. How we actually go from the cloud of just a repository from data to actually being a service and all those things allows this to be possible. Now, what's unique about this particular demo that I'm just going to show you here is that I don't actually know that much about Cesium, which is the company that is providing this service, but I'm learning quickly. So the democratization of technology means that I could actually do a matrix fly-through of the city of Melbourne. Now, that's all good. You might just go, well, surely you could do that with Google Earth. So what are you providing here that's unique? Well, I'm actually in the game engine. So if I want to, I can pretty much design whatever I want. UFOs, spaceships, overlay data, all the things that we've seen before. Now, just to backtrack a little bit here, I'm going to show you something that may seem a bit obtuse. So I'll just make sure I open up the right folder. And I'm clicking on everything except the one I actually want to open. Right, there we go. So in a demonstration of marrying STEM, I've got a unique little project. It's out at the Wagga City Council, and it's to deal with COVID. How do you do a live exhibition when no one can actually touch anything and you're also in an awkward space? So you make it. So we'll just have a look at some of the background images here. So if anyone knows of the Connect sensor, I pretty much thought, well, what if I design my own? So it's essentially out there in the wild, and you're seeing here some of the crazy soldering that goes on and, you know, the design that happens behind it. And these photos are actually showing you the, you know, the work that's required to actually get the thing done. So you test, you make it work, and all these are signals that feed into this equipment, which we can see in situ. Maybe just back up one folder. There we go. So these sensors are out in the wild, and a bit like a keyboard, they're just reporting back to the computer, which is locked behind a triple glazed window because, you know, the overseas studio is like super secure, and it has its own computer that's running out there in the wild. So it's a combination of all the things we're talking about: custom making sensors, coding, feeding it all through into a real-time game engine. So the end result looks like this. As people are walking along the laneway, and they activate all the sensors, and there's fireworks going off according to their presence. So as people walk along, boom, all these fireworks go off behind them, which is pretty exciting. They all dance around, and I get that level of interaction. Of course, it's better to actually show you in the laneway, but it's freezing and we're not on on the location at the moment, but you get the idea. So back into this Unreal Engine. What if I now start customizing Melbourne? I'm going to pretty much drag in a plane. It's going to be really hard to see until I make it large. Bear with me. So I'll need it bigger than that, 4,000. And you can see I'm actually raising it up and down. So I'm taking that idea of what I did with that rural setting, but I'm actually now applying it at, global scale. So let's just zoom down. Now at the moment you're going, well, that's all very good, but that looks completely fake. That looks like snow. How hard is it for, an individual like myself, a total noob, to actually get something like this looking a bit more interesting? So I'm going to create a material and call it water. And this is how quickly we can work. So I'm just going to maybe give it a color of blue. Obviously, they're a bit of a cheat. I've been doing this for a few years, so that's why I'm not too concerned about anyone stealing my IP. But I'm showing you how to do it. So if anyone wants to go out and start a company tomorrow, this is how. Just go in there, quickly make some nodes up. Essentially, materials come down to about 4 basic properties when it comes to CG anyway. So I'll just plug that in. And I've got myself, hopefully, a sort of reflective surface. This is cheap water, by the way. I haven't really spent much time on this. I'm just going to go save, close. Come on. Right. Now, I'll apply that material to that surface and look at what we've got. Now, the data's being fed in real time, and there's a few other things. Now, bear in mind, this graphics card is a little bit old too, but we can now show, and again, I'll just bring the water level down here, real-time feedback. So take all of the technologies we're talking about and run with them. We are ready to go. And everyone made so many incredibly important points. I want to support them all and say they're absolutely right. Just this idea that Australia is in a situation where it's building capacity right now. If someone like myself just here is kind of experimenting and doing this sort of stuff in a proper supportive framework where you bring in the best of agriculture, you bring in the best of visualization, you bring in engineers and so forth, we should be rapidly prototyping this. I guess I'm conveying my impatience somewhat to simply say, ready to go. Name the place, we'll put, we'll go through, set it up, a virtual farm, we'll put placeholders, we'll have real-time data coming in from everywhere, but it is definitely a collaboration, definitely. And you do want goodwill and people to partner early. So when it comes to the theme of this, which is about food supplies and sustainability and the greater good of society, the idea of a digital twin doesn't just have to be this. We can marry that with, as Tim Gentle was saying before, the exciting idea of actually having a digital twin. Of course, I hope I'm still in the right folder. We did a STEM conference, and I'm just going to mute this.
Hi, man.
This is me, but in a digital form. I'll just zip forward so you can actually see what I'm talking about. This democratization of Hollywood-level technology now coming down for every person, it's incredible. So I can change my age, sex, gender, just gender, whatever. I haven't had enough coffee. But you guys can see here that this is using an iPad fed through to a PC in real time, and I can switch characters like this. And imagine what you could do now if you did have that sort of digital double where you could say, what happens if I eat too many pizzas, as Tim had mentioned before. Now, this will just blow your minds. Imagine that level of character at ground level. So as you go down those streets here in Melbourne, you then see that level of fidelity coming through. It's ready. It's there. The technology is there for you to actually interact in that way. Now, here I am, as you can all be gods, create your own universes, but we're all in this for the greater good. So the XRC is happy to talk to anyone who wants to start building a better future. So, yep, let's chat. I guess I'll be all right for now.
Yep, I'm ready. Let's go.